Think we good. I think we good. I think we good. Yeah. 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 Yes. Yes. Y'all already know what time it is. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. Quick shout out to my bro and my normal co-host, my bro Santana. Again, we still trying to work out the YouTube kinks. Again, we've done a whole bunch of episodes, but for some reason we cannot get on the same page as far as our connection. It just seems like every time I speak, he freezes and vice versa, and we're still working on it. We're actually working with YouTube to clarify this issue because it is an issue, but the show must go on and continue to go on. We're also adding shows on Instagram as well, so stay tuned for those times as well. But again, shout out to my bro Santana. Also, shout out to a guest co-host, my bro Jokey from Jokey Entertainment as well, for always tapping in. So again, thank y'all for tapping in. You know we're gonna have a fire show. You know how we do it, man. It's your host Ashley Lovechild, and you know I don't play no games. We're gonna turn up. It's a lot to talk about, and let's get to it. Real quick though. Again, I want to thank everybody for supporting my new EP, Winners Loyalty. Thank you, thank you, thank you for continuing to support my new EP. Has 6 singles on there, and y'all been showing us so much love on all music platforms. Again, it's on all music platforms. So I've been seeing comments on SoundCloud, YouTube Music. Y'all been showing major love to the Apple, to the Spotify space. So again, thank y'all and continue to support my new EP. Again, it's called Winners Loyalty. If you've never heard of it, again, just type in Ashley Lovechild and it's going to be ready right there for you. It got the NBA logo. I put the NBA logo, for a reason. You see what I'm saying? It signifies something. So again, thank y'all for all those who tapped in and got that particular part of it. Because I'm seeing comments talking about like, oh, what's the NBA logo? It's like, yeah, I know, bro. It's like that for a reason. So again, thank y'all for supporting. Uh, Also, I want to thank the supporting sponsor of our podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, Button Snaps. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Make sure you go there right now. Also, we on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11,000 subscribers. So continue to like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to hit that all notification bell. Just never know when I'm going to pop up. We also have memberships. So tap into the membership portion in the page. Different memberships have different access. So make sure you take advantage of them today. And again, we appreciate the support over here. This podcast is built off love, ideas, energy, great energy, having a good time. We talk about everything over here. Quick shout out to some of my day ones already in the building. Appreciate y'all tapping in. My chat went in and out. I seen it, then it went out. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, here you go, that YouTube stuff, right? But I did see shout out to Paul in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. One of our day ones. King Prince in the building, or King all day. King P all day in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Badge holder. Winter in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Treeman in the building. Culture. Appreciate y'all tapping in, man. It means the world to me again that y'all continuously support the pod. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, y'all. Moving on. I feel like I got one more announcement. I wrote it down. Y'all know me. Sometimes I'll be writing stuff down. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna mention on the pod, and then it be gone. So I feel like I'm missing something. But all right, y'all, we can move on. First segment of the night, y'all already know popular opinions. These are the world's questions, y'all. These are the world's questions. These are not my questions. I'll let y'all know when it's my question, but these are not my questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. All right. First question of the night. Oh, this segment is brought to you by OUV Records. The label model is create, document, and inspire. If you go on Instagram today, tap it at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. All right, y'all. A quick shout out to Ebony in the building. Eb just made it. Appreciate you tapping in the building, Ebony. All right, y'all. First question of the night, y'all. And remember, stay engaged in the chat. It's fun. It's love in the chat. It's love all day in the chat. So make sure y'all tap in the chat. All right, y'all. First question. Biggest thing missing in music. Biggest thing missing in music. Number one, no gatekeepers. Number two, good artists. Number three, lack of TV appearances. Number four, good music. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Again, y'all. Again, the question is biggest thing that's missing in music today, obviously. Number one, gatekeepers. Number two, good artists. Number three, lack of TV appearances. Number four, good music. So let me know what y'all think in the chat. Me personally, when they say no gatekeepers, this is like it is a lack of people like gatekeeping what good music is. Like because music is so accessible, everybody's getting that music, and there's no real gatekeepers anymore to be like, yeah, nah, we cool, work on this some more, and come back to us later, right? So that's what I'm thinking. What is being said about gatekeepers, good artists. Me personally, there's a lot of great artists out there. Some, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of great artists out there, but because it's oversaturated with so many people that think they could do music, it's kind of hard if you a listener and only a listener just to cut through and listen to the stuff that you like. But my only advice is when you find something that you like, continue like really support it. Don't like haphazardly like something, like really support it. So there's a lot of good artists out there, great artists. On top of that, lack of TV appearances, not really. I mean, we got the internet. Honestly, people are bigger stars through the internet, richer. I won't say bigger stars, but they're more so richer. Definitely more so richer. People are focused on getting to that bag today. We've seen too many people and artists from the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s who was always on TV, but struggling, struggling. They didn't benefit from all those appearances. So I'm not saying that we need that. And good music, like I said, there's good music out there. I think there's good music out there. You just gotta again find it, and once you find it, support it. So that way people will continue to drop music. Um, so yeah. So again, and the question was, what is missing in today's music? Number one, no gatekeepers. Number two, good artists. Number three, lack of appearances, TV appearances. Number four, music, good music. Uh, the chat. Let me see what the chat. Uh, hey, there's another way. I think you can add sustainable using Stream World. This allows you to see your subscribers. They can comment, and see also. I agree also. There's a great there are great artists such as yourself. Oh, appreciate it. But the gatekeepers give more exposure to artists based in chaos and destruction. There's something to be said about that. A lot of companies do base their attention on artists who has more so like death culture because secretly, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of these record companies, they have life policies on these artists. So if an artist is no longer around and there's an insurance policy that these labels pick up on each artist, when they no longer around, they collect up on the insurance policy, and they don't share anything with the family. So Yeah, so I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. All right, so again, the again I went with I went with no gatekeep. I'm gonna go with no gatekeepers. I'm gonna go with no gatekeepers. What's missing in today's music? No gatekeepers. The rest of what chat also agreed with me. The rest of the world at 41% y'all went with good music. I don't like I said, I don't agree with that. And I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm speaking from like there's a lot of artists out there with really good music. And it's not necessarily regional driven, whether it's from New York, whether it's from, the South, whether it's from the West Coast, whether it's from the Midwest. There's good music, great music in all coasts. And depending on what your vibe is, if you find something that you like it and support it. Again, like it and support it. So again, make sure y'all tap in. Uh, Thanks for that information. I'll definitely tap into it, because what most people don't understand with YouTube, depending on what you're using, they give certain type of provision on the different apparatuses that we're using, and there's a give and take on each one of them. So it's more so of a connection thing. So I'm gonna look into it, hoping that the connection would be cool. But we're gonna work on it. We're definitely gonna work on it. But thank you. I'm gonna look into that seriously. Um, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. Best Carl Weathers movie on this list. Best Carl Weather movies on this list. Some of y'all probably like, who's Carl Weathers? Y'all gonna know about the movies I'm gonna name. All right. Number one, Action Jackson. Number two, Rocky 4. Number three, Happy Gilmore. Number four, Predator. And for those who don't get it yet, Carl Weathers is known for playing Apollo Creed. And he's in all of these top tier blockbuster movies. And, people, when they see the movies, they know him by face and everything. His acting prowess is great. Um, but he's been a part of a lot of great movies, whether they action, comedy, sports related. I mean, he's done them all. So again, what is the best Carl Weather movie on this list? Number one, Action Jackson. Number two, Rocky 4. Number three, Happy Gilmore. Number four, Predator. All four of these give different type of energies. Action Jackson is basically a top cop type of movie, action packed 80s style, sexy girl, good versus evil, big brolic dude running and gunning in the streets and just holding it down. It's actually a great watch. Rocky 4, y'all know, come on, Rocky 4 is a classic. He dies at Rocky 4, taking on Ivan Drago. Happy Gilmore, he plays Happy Gilmore, like coach, and gets his hand eaten by an alligator. Like hysterically funny, might I add. I watched Happy Gilmore for the first time in a long time, like maybe like a week ago. Still funny. And Predator, he played one of the soldiers and holding it down. Him and Arnold Schwarzenegger give the most inexplicable handshake I've ever seen in my life, just to show off the guns. Chill, y'all need to chill. All right, 80s was a wild place because they didn't care. All right, so again, me personally, huh, I'm gonna change mines, and I'm gonna go with Action Jackson. I'm gonna go with Action Jackson because he was the lead. He had a beautiful woman in that movie named Vanity. I don't know if y'all remember Vanity, but Vanity used to be popping. Rest in peace to her. And the movie again, top cop, chasing people down, slamming bodying people. Even Miguel Nunez, the comedian Miguel Nunez, is in that movie. It's a dope movie, so I'm gonna go with Action Jackson. Uh, I went with Action Jackson. The chat, I've seen Rocky 4 pops up. It will allow you to add Santana to your live stream works, and also you see your subscribers. Everyone will be commenting. Okay, definitely be checking that out. All right, so again, I chose Rocky 4. I mean, I chose Action Jackson. The chat is choosing Rocky 4. The rest of the world at 37%. This was real close too. Went with Rocky 4. Rocky 4. I'm not mad at that. That's probably Carl Weathers' most iconic role ever is playing Apollo Creed. Obviously, his name rings so much bells that it turned into a whole movie franchise, stemming with Michael B. Jordan. Obviously, Apollo Creed was such a big, larger than life character. He dies in Rocky for fighting Ivan Drago. So I'm not mad at that. Rocky 4 is a fire movie, so I'm not mad at that. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Hollywood Need to Ask Us. Came up with this segment because Hollywood just don't give us enough interesting movies, creative, just something with some sort of intrigue, good story, something, a great foundation. Is always the same old, same old. You know what I mean? Even though I still know what you do. I still know what you do. Did last summer looks kind of decent. They still keep bringing it out. They still keep running the same idea. So we came up with this segment because we got better ideas for a movie or a movie series. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. My Hollywood Need to Ask Us. I want to see a movie based on something that's really real. I want to see a movie based on buying virginity. I know that sounds crazy, y'all. If you look it up, there's a history of women selling their virginity for millions of dollars. And some of these women were as young, the stories that I can remember, as 19, and some was as old as 27. So I've seen, or I've heard, I've seen in reports, in stories, in magazines about several women, beautiful women, that was selling their virginity and got paid millions. So I would love to see a movie based on that. Like, to be a virgin, and mind you, this was like back in 2015, 2016, 2009. So where would you think to even cash in on something like that? Because most women that do save it, they saving it to get married, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? The best gift ever that you could give to your future husband is your body, right? And you're going to do it the right way, right? So for some women that was able to capitalize on that, and mind you, some of these women had, some sort of cachet already. The fact that they could kind of like, not kind of, but basically auction off that, their virginity. I would like to see a movie based on that, just the foundation of it. Whether it's a comedy, whether it's, a rom-com, whether it's, a horror film, whatever type of genre that they want to make this movie, at least the foundation would be selling their virginity. So I want to know, how do they even derive to, like, yo, I ain't never gave this up, and let me see if I can make some money on this. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm 3 mil. And like, that's wild to me. So to come up like that is kind of crazy. So me personally, I would want to see a movie based on buying virginity and women selling virginity. So like I said, if you look it up, there's several stories about that, and it's very, very interesting on how they even came to that conclusion. So I would love to see a movie based on that. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment. Some of y'all favorite segment on the pod, because I give y'all them fire must-see movies. And I guarantee y'all didn't see these three at all. All right, y'all, my first must-see movie on this list came out in 1998. It stars Karen Parsons. Y'all best know her as Hillary from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Isaiah Washington, Eric Tha, and Rosalind Coleman. Interesting movie. Interesting comedy, rom-com slash type of movie. There's a young lady who was working for the ad agency. She quit her job mainly because she wasn't agreeing to the product and how they was, you know, marketing the product and who it was marketed to. So she thought of an idea to watch the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see Mixin' Nina. Alright, second must-see movie came out in 2013, directed by Michael Bay. So y'all know there's some things that's gonna blow up, right? This movie stars The Rock, Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Mackie, Tony Solow, and Ed Harris. This movie is called Pain and Gain. When I first watched this movie, I thought this was one of the most terrible movies ever in the world. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But what I didn't know, because I thought it was loosely based, but no, it was based on a true story. So this movie is about three friends, and they into their bodybuilding, and you know they come up with this elaborate scheme to really make some money because all three of them is struggling and want to take the next level in life. And you have to watch the rest of the movie. It's a very interesting movie. And keep in mind, it's a true story. It's a true story. Like, down to the very nitty gritty, it's a true story. The only thing that's kind of like far-fetched is that The Rock and Mark Wahlberg and Anthony Mackie, they don't necessarily look like the guys that they're playing, but the things that happen are true. So it's actually a great watch. Third and final must-see movie came out in 1988, directed by John G. Avildsen. This stars Molly Ringwald, Randall Batinkoff, Pauly Shore, and Annie E. Curry. This movie is called For Keeps. This movie is about a young couple in high school, heavily in love. Y'all already know that first love. You can't keep your hands off of them. This is before cell phones and Instagram and all that stuff. So when you saw the person that you really like you lit up. So that was like them. Of course, they were sexually active, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. So make sure y'all check out again to see For Keeps. Again, my three must-see movies. Number one, For Keeps. Number two, Pain and Gain. Number three, Mixin' Nina. Make sure you tap into all three movies. Fire movies. Very interesting movies as well. So make sure y'all tap in. I felt more lost in not knowing movies. I consider myself a movie person. Personal. I mean, listen. I try to give y'all movies that y'all haven't seen before. I mean, that's the whole purpose of it. If I come up here and tell y'all Boys in the Hood, Juice, and you know something else y'all have seen, y'all not gonna go see it. So I'm hoping y'all go see these movies. These are very interesting fire movies. This is what, the 172nd episode. 3 movies a piece. Most of the time 6 movies. So make sure y'all go tap into those movies. Alright, y'all, moving on to our must hear. You must put these 3 songs on your playlist. You already know whether it's new or old, whether it's R&B or hip hop. To my true R&B fans, true hip hop fans, I'm gonna give y'all fire music that y'all must put on your playlist. Alright, so my featured artist for tonight, Nas. I feel like there's been so much going on with the name Nas and people not remembering his music. Y'all gotta put these songs on y'all playlist. And this is why he's regarded so high. Not just these songs, but you know, these are some of my favorites that y'all have to put on your playlist. Alright. Number 1, You Owe Me featuring Genuine. Number 2, Street Dreams featuring R. Kelly. Number 3, Nas album Done, DJ Khaled. So make sure you put those 3 on your playlist. Again, number 1, You Owe Me featuring Genuine. Number 2, Street Dreams featuring R. Kelly. Number 3, Nas album Done, Khaled. So make sure y'all tap in to those songs. Fire songs. Make sure y'all put that on y'all playlist. Alright, y'all, moving on to Our must read, must get this book, must get this book. Advance your vocabulary, advance your advance your thought process, and put more things in your head that's going to proceed. All right, so my must read book for this episode is called Grow, Cook, Eat. Grow, Cook, Eat. This book specializes in learning how to grow your own foods, cook it, and obviously the most easiest thing to do is eat. It's very important that we learn how to grow our own foods, because if we're dependent on these stores that a lot of times don't properly take care of food properly, we don't understand what we're putting in our bodies that is putting harmful things into our bloodstreams, that we're not realizing why we're coughing, why we're being sick, why we have so much mucus built up. That's because the things that they put into the food, and we're just going to the store and just buying it just because we're used to it, and we're not looking at it, we're not questioning it, we're not really taking our due diligence. So learning how to grow our own food is something that is key for us to continue to, for us to live, because the whole purpose is to get older, y'all. So at the end of the day, we got to learn how to grow, cook, and eat. I already know how to cook, I already know how to eat, and I'm learning how to grow myself, and this is a great book to teach those fundamentals. This book is by Will Galloway, so make sure y'all tap into Grow, Cook, Eat, again by Will Galloway. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know, send them to turkey, y'all. We're going to send them to turkey or nah. Send them to turkey or nah. Y'all already know, y'all either put the T's or y'all put the N's in the chat. All right? All right, first question. Send them to turkey or nah. Philadelphia school systems launch STD screenings because it's aimed to be the highest in the nation amongst teens and STD rates. So are we sending the Philadelphia school systems to turkey or nah? Sending them to turkey or nah? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. We sending them to turkey or nah? They saying nah in the chat. They saying nah in the chat. Not they saying send turkey. That's crazy. Uh, I could kind of see both sides of it. On one side, I don't want to send them to Turkey because they doing the due diligence. They seeing an issue and a problem, and they going into the school system and say, hey, we got to screen everybody. We got to test everybody because we don't want this thing to spread. I can see why you want to send them to Turkey if the thought process is more the fact that they're there in the first place. But this is the effect of something. This is not the cause. So me personally, I'm going to lean on the side of not sending them to Turkey, because they're doing their due diligence. They're making sure and trying to find out who has who don't have what, and this, that, and the third. So for me personally, I'm not going to send them to Turkey. I just think that the school system just see the issue and trying to prevent further issue. But what's crazy that in the area of Philadelphia, that you have so many, I would say as a whole, as a culture, and when I say culture, y'all know what I mean, right? As a culture, it like sex is so stigmatized that we just don't talk about it. We get it popping though. We'll get it cracking in the heartbeat, but we just don't talk about it. There's no healthy conversations before sex. We just lean on the fact that we have an attraction. We look at the person and be like, yo, they look clean, instead of really doing our due diligence, doing a my chart, figuring out each other's history, sexual history, before y'all get into the bed. Because I mean, when I was in my teenage years, I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't bring that stuff up. I'm trying to get it cracking. We ask all them questions later, B. But now, or later, I should say, later as an adult, ain't nothing more sexier than knowing that you don't got nothing. Oh, we gonna go hammies in this bedroom. Oh, you finna be running. But imagine how less guarded you would be just knowing what you're dealing with. And I think people can make their own decisions once they know what they're dealing with. It's like in the culture, when it comes to sex and sex ideology, we don't keep it real. I'm just going to be honest. We don't keep it real, and it's a very scary place to be because everybody, when it comes to like their sexual identity and their sexual behavior, we all feel alone. We all feel like, damn, like when I go through this, I'm going through this as an individual. So you'll be surprised, and I can understand people not wanting to share their personal experiences because it's intimate. It's really not most people's business. But if we don't normalize having healthy conversations, then we're going to continue to have stuff like this. I mean, Philadelphia is not some like small town somewhere. It's Philadelphia. So it's a very metropolitan area. So can you imagine if they not having conversations in Philly? It's easily established that they could not have them same conversations in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, these many mega cities that has names of their own, and the belief and the practices of the people who are cultured and how we move and groove in the bedroom, and it's not healthy, especially if it's among the teenagers. Especially that, I mean, it's among everybody because 1 out of 2 adults have herpes. And that's due to the lack of communicating, not having those conversations to prevent these matters. So if you have that on the adult side and you have this on the, on the teenage side of the game, as somewhere along the line in the middle, we really going to be like at a standstill when it comes to sexual behavior because at the end of the day, nobody wants to catch anything. But how do nobody want to catch anything when we're not having the real conversations? So I'm not going to send I'm not going to send Philadelphia to Turkey for that. I think they're doing their due diligence as well. So all right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. Send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. The NFL charges players when they don't return their jersey or they give it away. Like, how many times have you guys watched the game and you see players at the end of the game, give each other their jerseys or whatever the case may be. So basically, anytime they do that, if they don't tell the team that they're going to do that, they have to pay $1,500 for that jersey. If they take the jersey without telling the team they're taking the jersey home, they got to pay $1,500. Now, if they tell the team, like, yo, I'm going to be giving my jersey away at the end of this game, then the team will only charge them $600. So, I mean, like, that's crazy. So, are we sending the NFL to Turkey for that rule that if you give your jersey to another player or you just don't bring it back, that they charge $1,500? And like I said, the only way they'll charge the $600 is if you do inform the team prior to giving your jersey away. So, are we sending them to Turkey or nah? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Me personally, I'm gonna say no. No, I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yeah. And the reason why I'm gonna say send them to Turkey is because if a player wants to give a jersey away, then let them. Y'all already making millions just off the replicas, based just off the classic, what they call them, damn, it's not replicas, but the real joints, the ones that they will wear in the game. Y'all selling those as well. I just bought a Chief jersey of the actual Chief jersey with the Lovechild on the back, and that was very expensive. Very expensive. I'm talking about $400 expensive. That's expensive. So if y'all are selling these type of jerseys at rapid rates, finding the player is crazy. Now I can understand if you give them a limit. You say like, yo, y'all get y'all get a 6 jersey limit per year. If you give away more than 6 jerseys, then we're gonna charge you 1,500 after the 6 jersey that you give away, right? But if you stay under this, because you're not going to trade your jersey every week. Everybody ain't that lit to get a jersey and to give a jersey. You know what I mean? So if you trade under 6 jerseys a year, then that should be cool. But if you overdo it, then it's like, all right, we're going, you know what I'm saying? We're going to charge you the 1,500. So I just thought that was interesting in the mindset that they do charge that. It's because Trump tariffs on material for the jersey, why they making them pay. And Paul said, yeah, send them to Turkey, send them to Turkey. I mean, regardless, at the end of the day, the NFL's been around for over 75 years. So they've been making money. They make money hand over fist. And this is more so not necessarily the NFL. This is more so a team thing. So each team practice this NFL rule that, yo, we're going to charge you based on this. So at the end of the day, all these years they've been making all that money on. All that money on. You mean to tell me y'all can't give a couple mulligans? All right, y'all don't want to give away 6? All right, the first 3, the first 4 is cool. But after 4, once you get to like 5, 6, it's like, yo, we got to charge you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody not nice like that anyway for you to give your jersey to every week. Like, Patrick Mahomes is not ripping his jersey off every week, giving it to other quarterbacks. It's like, yeah, bro, you not like that. If Lamar Jackson want to trade jerseys, Josh Allen want to trade jerseys, Burrows want to trade the jerseys, Jaden Daniels want to trade the jersey, cool. Everybody else, get your weight up, youngin. You know what I'm saying? Get your weight up. Nah. Buy my jersey. You feel what I'm saying? Get your weight up for me to take this jersey off. So, again, at the end of the day, I just feel like it's a bit excessive. All right, y'all, moving on to our last, send them to Turkey or nah. Remember, put in them T's or them N's to either send them to Turkey or nah. Vin Diesel confirms Fast and the Furious final movie is supposed to be released, set April 2027. 2 years from now, it'll probably come faster than that. Pause. These type of things just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But are we sending this final movie to Turkey or nah? Sending the final movie to Turkey or nah? A quick shout out to I can't even see it. To Solo Slim, man. Appreciate you tapping in. One of our badge holders. So are we sending it to Turkey or not? Me personally, I'm going to send this to Turkey. Mainly because we already got enough, bro. We already got enough. We got enough Fast and Furious movies that's going to last us forever and a day. The next Fast and Furious is not going to change the game. I haven't seen, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen any of the Fast and Furious, like, the last Fast and Furious I've seen was F7, Fast and Furious, the 7th one. I'm cool. What more can y'all do? Y'all gonna fly these in the ocean, on the ocean floor? Y'all gonna go to space? Like, seriously, what more can y'all really do at this point? Because, I mean, they remind y'all, they flew with the cars from the sky, right? Then they was driving them in the buildings. Y'all remember the ones where they going from building to building, like they jumping in buildings to buildings on the floor. It was like, yo, it's ridiculous. Like, they coming from the helicopter. Like, we cool, bro. They was in caves, out of volcanoes. Like, bro. Tokyo drift. They was in Tokyo with it. They was in Modesto, California, or Fresno, California. I mean, we cool, bro. We cool. Next thing you know, I would not be surprised. You know what would take this to the whole next level for me not to send us to Turkey? If they found a way to bring Fast and Furious, shot it in New York City, and they was racing in the train while the train's just coming. Then mind you, they chasing a bomb or something like that. Oh, and don't forget, while they chasing the bomb, the bad guy got the bomb, and he got one of the family members pregnant. And not for nothing, right? If they don't get the pregnant family member in certain time, then they're gonna lose the baby. Then when the baby is born, then Nick Toretto is like the father or the godfather or something like that. And then not just that, right? Paul Walker impregnated the girl, but he passed away like 10 years ago. That's how ridiculous the Fast and Furious movies got. I guarantee it's going to be something like that, bro. I guarantee it's going to be something like that. Because they ain't know what else they can do with this. They going to take it in the water? They going to really be flying it up. What's ain't they called destroyers where they fly when they float in the water, or they got the big submarines? Not submarines. They got the big you know what I'm saying, y'all, the ships or whatever, and they like, we cool. We cool. We sending this to Turkey. We sending this to Turkey. We need a fast car movie series. I like that idea. I like that idea. There was something that just came out with it's called Formula One, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's Brad Pitt. If that's not Brad Pitt, then that's Val Kilmer. No, Val Kilmer passed away. Is either Brad Pitt or there's somebody for that. The former, but I know what you mean. We need just a fast car movie showing up the skill level. Like, they just do too much. They get too carried away with these movies. I'm cool on the Fast and Furious. Been cool on the Fast and the Furious. We're gonna send that to Turkey. We good. We cool. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, y'all. Our next segment, y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps. Again, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, Button Snaps. Again, that's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Make sure y'all tap in. Also, y'all, make sure y'all tap into the merchandise in the links through fourthwall.com. If you use promo code BrothersPod, BrothersPod, y'all will get 10% off on all merchandise. So again, use BrothersPod at fourthwall.com. You get 10% off at all purchases. Again, we have dope OUV record t-shirts, Can a Brother Get a Rap podcast t-shirts, and we just dropped Send Them to Turkey t-shirts as well. So make sure y'all tap in and use that promo code to get that 10%. Again, Brothers Pod. All right, y'all. First hot topic of the night. Rapper Rhymefest speaks on being homeless and having a Grammy with no health insurance. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I don't know if many of y'all remember Rhymefest like that. I wish I could pull up his picture. But if you look him up, he used to work heavily with Kanye West. He had a few songs that went crazy. He did win a Grammy. And he was doing his thing at one particular point. I think he was around, I would say, the early 2000s, like 2005. So I say mid 2000s, like 2005, 2006, 2007-ish. And he was doing his thing at one point. But again, he speaks on being homeless and having a Grammy with no health insurance. For me personally, I don't think this is necessarily a big deal, mainly because winning a Grammy is an accomplishment. None of us are no matter what our accomplishments are, when none of us are immune to the trials and tribulations of life. Life is life. So no matter what we accomplish, we're not void of living life. We're not void of making a whole bunch of mistakes. So it's not to me it's not a big deal that he went homeless. You know what I mean? So that's just my thought process. Again, we've seen NBA players go from well, all sports players making millions of dollars, have the world by their feet, have businesses, have all types of people that supposedly love them to go from going to doing life in jail, losing their family, losing their money on gambling or just poor money management. So I'm not, this is to me, this is not a big deal, but social media has made it a big deal. And some people was shaming and some people wasn't. But to me, it's not a big deal. But he's speaking of the fact that he came through from the situation and that it didn't break him. So there's something to be learned from this because we see people that go homeless every day, unfortunately, and they just fall into the abyss. And it's like, how can you not? Like, that's something that's earth shattering, right? When you don't have a foundation to take care of your business, right? So for me, it's not necessarily a big deal that he went through this because he's not immune from it, right? We've seen bigger artists go through all types of things, whether it's mental illness, all types of things, and end up in the same situation that he's ended up in. So I'm glad that he was able to come from it. And when you go through things, it teach you about life. It teach you how to look. It teach you how to really make money. It teach you how to really hustle. So sometimes we all need just a little struggle in order for us to take the next step in life because life is hard. Life is easy. The easiest thing that we could do is take our own life. And that's not something I'm willing to do when things get hard. And, you know, due to the people that's watching this show, I know y'all don't give up easily either. So at the end of the day, we got to continue to keep on fighting. Ryan Ellis. I'm not sure who Ryan Ellis is. I don't know if that's his real name, but his rap name is Rhyme Fest. Rhyme Fest. If that's his real name, I never even looked at his real name. If that's his real name, Ryan Ellis. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Um, the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks have reportedly reached out to legendary coach from South Carolina University, Dawn Staley, as possibly being the new head coach of the New York Knicks. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Knick fans, I'm saying, like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? They should do it. Listen, Dawn Staley is an Olympian, gold medalist, champion, player, coach. I remember when I was a little kid, she was on the dream team of women that is iconic in my mind when you think about those teams. Her, Rebecca Lobo, Lisa Leslie, Teresa Edwards, Cheryl Swoops, I believe Ruthie Holyfields. I mean, that squad was loaded, and those women used to blow people out in those games, and she ended up being a great coach. She's one of the best coaches that you can have in college basketball. I think she could coach the WNBA if she wanted to as well, but I just feel like it's probably more money in the college basketball for her. I just don't feel like I don't feel like she should coach the Knicks. I don't feel like no woman should coach any NBA team. I'm gonna be honest with you. And it's not necessarily out of sexism, out of sex, being sexist or anything like that. It's more so being comfortable with the fact that the stuff that you're learning is from somebody that actually did it on this level. She did it on her level. So if she was to become the coach of the WNBA, then no muss, no fuss from me. But for her to teach men, it's kind of a stretch. Like, basketball is basketball, right? And I'm pretty sure she could teach it. It's not about teaching it. It's more so, I would say more so about the leadership quality of basketball. Teaching X's and O's is X's and O's if you know the game, right? If you've been around the game. But grown men, and I'm be honest with this, grown men in sports want leadership from other grown men in sports. Simple and plain. I'm not even going to be around the bush around this. I'm not going to be Mr. Political Nice Guy. No. Men in sports want leadership from other men in sports. It's different. The voice carry different in the locker room. The energy is different in the locker room. The accountability is different in the locker room. So, do she qualify and measure up from a standpoint of just resume? Absolutely. Hands down. Hands down. But there's a component that's missing. She's not a man. And that matters in the locker room. It matters how the guys carry themselves. It matters how the guys speak. I speak differently when I'm around dudes than I'm around women. When I'm around women, I speak pleasantly. I'm still an aggressive individual, but I'm more so pleasant. My words are gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice. When I'm around dudes, I grew up playing sports, so my energy is like, it's, you know what I mean? Like big brother, little brother, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know what I mean? In the locker room, it's a lot of aggressive energy. You know what I mean? Pause. So I think you could get that same resume, that same energy, if you're dealing with a man. But I think the message and the ability of the high stakes will come different from a man. Pause. So, do you also feel a woman should train, make boxers? I don't see the rest of your message, Paul. I was gonna read the rest of it, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, because I kind of think I know where you're going with when it comes to the boxing analogy. Do I think that if you have women that train, boxers, men boxers, I think men should train men boxers. Simple and plain. Again, knowing something and actually doing it is two different things. When I played college football, there was no woman coach that could teach me how to run through the B gap, because she's never ran through the B gap and had to go up against a 250-pound linebacker. I did. She probably went through the B gap and had to go through a 140-pound linebacker. 250 is a whole nother beast. She wouldn't even understand the type of mindset that it took me to run a 250-pound man over, and not by his choice. So that's why I feel like there's just a different mindset. Like, again, for football, right? There's no woman that could train my mindset to make a man do what I want him to do, breaking his will and understanding the mentality that it takes to say, I know you don't know me, sir, but today on this field, I'm going to fuck you up. And ain't nothing you could do about that. And it's not about just like weight room strength, because I played with, other teammates that in the weight room, they was stronger than me. I mean, like, tossing weight. I don't know if you ever seen Terry Crews on the episode of My Wife and Kids when he's doing the Euro training and he's throwing the weight, doing all. I know dudes that threw the weight from head to toe, sparkling muscles, 6'4", 6'2", 250 pounds, 235 pounds, big guys. And on the field, they get trucked. They get trucked. Yes. Mindset is everything. So, do I believe that women can teach the game? Yes, somewhat, because there's an X and O's component. But when it comes to the physical aspect, in men's sports, you just don't teach X's and O's. You have to go through the physical aspect of it. Then you also have a component of being accountable, that if it feels different, pause again, y'all, when you have a man coach. So that's a little sexist, a little. Again, I'm not going to give you a pleasant answer. I only could be honest on the mindset of an athlete. But it's also true. It's true. If it's sexist, right? Because I'm not attacking you. So if it's sexist, name me how many women that played in the NFL that ran through the B gap that trucked a 250-pound linebacker. Biggs in the building. Shout out, bro. My bro Biggs in the building. So that question alone doesn't make it sexist, because if you can't name a woman that ran through the B gap and ran a 250-pound, 230-pound linebacker, then how can she teach me how to do it? See what I'm saying? We got to make it make sense. If we're talking about boxing, right? Somebody could show you some skills, whether they're a woman or a man, right? They could show you some stuff. Cool, right? But how can they really teach you how to execute if they're not going up against what you're going up against? That's like somebody teaching you to pay bills, right? And your bills is $5,000 a month, right? And the person that's teaching you how to pay bills, their bills is $800 a month. So how can they teach you how to pay $5,000 when they only have to pay $800 a month? So I don't want to get ridiculous with this, but you get my point. So it can't be sexist. This is based in logic. It's not based in no type of feeling. So at the end of the day, do I feel like she qualifies for the job? Resume wise, yes. But again, the component of her not being a man, it does matter, because it's a men's sport. And it feels different. The leadership feels different when it comes from men, when you're dealing with like high profile sports such as basketball, football, soccer. This is not even a question in soccer. So it's just kind of interesting when you have sports that's predominantly cultured, that it becomes like a sexist type of nature. So I don't believe it's sexist, but for those who take it as sexist, I have to be real with you. I have to be real with you. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Antoine Massey has finally been recaptured in the Holly Grove era of New Orleans. He will now face additional charges for the escape. They saying that he had a role in the escape, but the prosecutor is assuring the people that they're going to charge him to the full extent of the law set by Attorney General Liz Morrell. It's unfortunate that he was captured before he was able to obtain any help. He released a video on all the things that he's seen wrong with his case and that he needed help. And I don't know about y'all, but I believe him. Now I knew for a fact when they record him, when they record him, whether they whether he got help or not, he was going to do the time extra time just for escaping. Cause at the time that you escape, bro. You was in custody of the state, so you're going to get extra time based on that. But his previous charges, if he would have got the proper help, he could have been exonerated. Charges could have been dropped, and he would just deal with the escape charges, right? But that also gets tricky too, because he shouldn't have been there in the first place, right? Because the lawyer could say, well, he shouldn't have been there in the first place for him to escape. But the state is going to say, but he was here and he didn't go through proper protocol. So I find it interesting that you have the attorney general that paints this narrative of his role in the escape, where he has his narrative, they have their narrative, and then there's tape narrative, and somewhere along the line, it's not about what's true, it's what you can prove. That's all what the law and court is about, is what you can prove. So the community and the culture is going to be behind Brother Antoine, because again, based on what he was saying, and the level of not desperation but the high stakes, I don't feel like he was lying. There's a possibility, very possibility, but tap into the facts in his case. Tap into the paperwork in his case. There's a paper trail, and he was making that known and making it obvious that the state has been ignoring the paper trail that proves his innocence. So this is something to look forward to. I think the attorney general, she's just doing her job, but it's also whack to paint that narrative. You can do your job without painting the narrative of we're going to charge him to the fullest extent of the law. By saying it that way, making it seem like he's already guilty. So that's one thing about lawyers. Their wordplay is carefully placed, and they know how to put it out there and paint their narrative, and let the people who's hearing it hear it in a way where it's like, damn, this person is really vicious. This person is really somebody that we need to stand clear of. So we have to be very careful on what we hear, and we got to learn how to dissect certain things. Because remember, she said that in his role of the escape, and we're going to ensure that he'll be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Those words were said on purpose. Those words were said as if it was guilt on his part when they haven't even gone back to court. So I hope the brother gets the help that he needs, as far as a lawyer that's an esquire. So hope that he gets the help that he needs. Paul, I get your point, but I get the point. I get the point, but watching, even not doing it, knowing how to do something is learned also by watching something else to do is an act. You're probably speaking of the coaching. Yes, but the act is a heavier component. Same thing with in any sport. To teach somebody, you can learn how to teach, right? That's not the point that we're arguing, right? The thing, well, not arguing, but having like a disagreement, right? The thing is, in order to really give leadership, you have to go through something. If you have children, when you give them leadership, and your children say, well, I don't want to listen to you, you're like, well, I've been through this. This right here that you're about to go through, you about to mess yourself up, and it's easy to get through this, right? So that's again, that's a component that they're not adding to this equation. I know a tweaker when I see one. Or you're probably talking about Massey. We shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but that has nothing to do with criminology, right? Poor baby, I hope someone big with lots of money will start working on the info, what he said, how he may be innocent and can help him, where Kim Kardashian, when you, where it's called Kim Kardashian when you need her. I don't want to answer that question because I'm going to seem like a bad and mean guy if I answer that question. I don't know, but it was, rhetorical. Um, but yeah, I mean, one thing about our country is we care about what we care about when we care about it. When our country care about something, when we wanna speak on something, oh, we gonna speak it. We're gonna get on all the media platforms. We're gonna get on everything and say our piece so much to the point where it's so loud and it's resonated with the powers that be. But when we kind of nonchalant with it, like, yo, that's wrong, bro, and then you go about your day, then we really not standing on it, right? So as a whole, I really hope that he gets the help that he deserves. But people that's in positions where they could help him have that mentality. So if they don't feel like it's big enough, they're not going to come in on his behalf. If social media is not speaking about it enough, they're not going to come in on his behalf and make the situation right. Even though they know the situation is right, but like, yeah, it's not big enough. So he gotta go. He did the crime. He gotta go do the time. So it's real funny with that type of mentality, because when we care about something, we really go all in on certain things, especially for the justice of cultured people. So I agree with you. I hope he do get the help that he needs. So I mean, at this particular point, I mean, again, all we could do is continue to raise awareness, because the more we speak on it, the higher the profile it will get. When this happened, this was up and down my TikTok line. Now other things done happened. They recaptured him. Ain't nobody talking about it. So I'm hoping that he will get the type of support that he needs to fight this case. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Question. This is my question, y'all. Should we put asterisks on sports championships? Should we put asterisks on sports championships? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Me personally, no. I'm not a fan on certain teams winning any type of championships. I'm going to be honest with you. But if they win fair and square, it's fair and square. Sports is all inclusive. Sports, anything is liable to happen. So within the realm of sports, people get injured, hurt, people get suspended, people do things and get held out of the game, or whatever the case may be. And if you do, you do, because it's fair and equal to both teams. So I've been seeing that narrative lately, because in sports, championships is a thing. Winning championships is a big thing in any type of sport, especially football and basketball. Now, there's certain teams that benefited from the other team not being at their best, whether it's a physical nature, a health nature, or whatever the case may be. There's been certain teams that won games or won championships when the other team wasn't clearly at their best, when that team basically hobbled into the championship, or whatever the case may be. So should there be asterisks next to championships? No, because it's fair on both sides. The thing that ended up happening to one team, it could have happened to the other team as well. So it's fair. And you have to do better to get better. So me personally, I don't feel like there should be an asterisk in sports, but this question has been coming up at an alarming rate in sports conversations, that there should be asterisks, You know, they was talking about COVID championship of the NBA should be an asterisk. I don't agree. I don't agree. Some people think that's the hardest championship to win. I think you're outside of your mind. I think that was probably the easiest championship to win, was the COVID championship. But it still shouldn't be an asterisk next to that championship. Some people gonna say, well, why you feel like that's the easiest championship to win? Because if you are an athlete, you play football or basketball, especially basketball, anytime the gym, anytime, because mind you, COVID is basically rec league, right? So basically what I'm saying is whatever team has the best one or two best players, they're going to win. If you have the one or two best players in the gym, you're going to win. You don't have to deal with the crowd. You don't have to deal with home court advantage or playing away. You don't have to worry about traveling. You just here. And all you're doing is playing basketball. But if your energy and your style of play and you're the best player in the gym, then you're not going to lose. So that's why I feel like the COVID championship was the easiest championship to get. But it should not be an asterisk, even if other players got hurt during that process, because injuries is a part of the game and it's fair on both sides. So again, I don't feel like there should be asterisks on championships. They was bringing up the same thing when they talked about the Toronto Raptors beating the Golden State Warriors, where they lost Clay. Who else they lost? They lost Clay, and I believe they lost Durant. But they definitely lost Clay in the playoffs. I remember that was the playoffs that really changed Clay. Like, it really changed them. Like, it was a nasty injury. And Toronto took him to the woodshed. Should there be an asterisk? No. Because just how Clay got hurt, Kawhi easily could have got hurt. Easily. Kawhi been kind of injury prone all through his career. So it could have went either way. So no asterisk. So I don't believe there should be asterisk in championships. Even something extreme as if, and I'm not trying to put this in the air, but something where the other team is not physically able to make it and they lose, that still shouldn't be an asterisk because it's fair on both sides. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Another question, and this was big on the internet. Can money buy you happiness? Can money buy you happiness? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Can money buy you happiness? Let me know. For me, it's an emphatic no for me. It's an emphatic no. Mainly because money, and y'all heard me say this so many times, money is a tool. It's not real. It's not real. It's a tool. It's tangible, but it's still a tool. What do you think about that, right? Or why do you say that, Ash? A screwdriver is tangible, correct? But at the end of the day, it's not end all be all to have a house. Money is a tool that we need to live life, pay bills, eat, and to move on, right? A tool is needed, but it's not end all be all. What can you not buy with $1,500 that you can't buy for $1,200? At the end of the day, again, money is a tool. It's necessary, but it's not going to bring all the happiness in the world. Because in my opinion, in my humble opinion, if you have too much money, it could turn into misery. You could be a prisoner of having too much money. And what that means is if other people feel like you have too much money or you have a lot of money, then they feel like you owe them. And if you don't break them off, then that's a thing on y'all friendship. That's a thing on y'all on just like, yo, you owe me some money just because you made some money. So money again is a tool. It's not a real thing. It's not going to bring you happiness. Now money can help relieve some stuff. Again, tool. It's a reliever. It gives you peace of mind or a tool. But it's not the equivalent to happiness. Money can bring choices. A tool. But it's not end all be all. Because what do it really change when you really get some money? Because money only make you more the person that you already are. If you are a giving person, when you get some money, you're going to give. Because you're already wired that way. Money changes the people around you. And that's why I say if you have too much money, it could be used against you because the people around you is going to be like, yo, you owe me something. Like, what the hell I owe you? I don't owe you jack. Nah, you owe me just because you got it. Because most people don't want what you give them. They want what you have. So again, money does not bring happiness. Shout out to my bro Biggs. Bro Biggs. But yeah, so at the end of the day, we have to be very careful what we think brings us happiness. Peace. Peace is happiness. But not money. Not money. That reminds me of the movie Pursuit of Happiness, you know, where he got that job at the end and he felt that peace that he was going to be able to provide. You know, he did everything else, but he didn't have the one thing that he needed to provide. You could provide yourself with a lifestyle with 50,000, 60,000. You do not need $1 million. $1 million is nice to have, but you don't need it. You don't need 10 million. You don't need, above and beyond. You don't need 400,000. You'll be good with 50, 60,000. Some people are like, damn, where you live at? At the end of the day, is how much is how you manage your money. If you manage your money properly, you can make it last. At the end of the day, would you rather make less money and good enough to live the type of way you want to live and have no stress, or make bukus of money and have all these type of stress, worrying about if somebody going to try to, break into your home and you have to defend your home every night, wondering when you go out and you run to the store that somebody's going to break in your car to get something that they think is in your car. Peace of mind. There's no peace. So I don't think money brings you happiness. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Another internet question that kept popping up. It was ringing down my timeline, y'all. An internet woman is asking men, what does peace look like in women? Wow, that's a good question. And I'm going to answer this question for all the women who seriously want to know this question. And if you're listening, listen. I'm not looking for you to respond. Okay? Just need you to listen. What does peace look like in women? Meaning, like, if men, we want peace from y'all, what do it look like from us? Okay. It varies from men to men, or man to man, I should say. It varies from man to man. Communication is very key. Y'all have to be able to communicate, especially you have to listen to what he's saying and not responding, not being triggered. If you listen to a man speak, he would tell you what his peace looked like coming from you. And it could be something as simple by you just being there, your presence alone And what do that look like to some men? That could be a gentle hug when he walks through the door, a kiss, a rubbing of the shoulders. Babe, how was your day? How are you doing? How are you feeling? A home cooked meal. And based on how he answered these questions, it's going to basically tell you where he's at with it for the day, because it could also vary from day to day. But most men, we deal on a program. And if you're on our program, we will tell you the cheat code. So peace, again, varies from men to men. And if you listen to your man, he will tell you. For me, just be cool. When I talk to you, listen. I'm not looking for a mama. I'm looking for somebody who's my better half. Because even though I'm the head of this thing, I need the neck to turn my left and my right. That's needed and necessary. And based on my program, if I like the house to look like this, that's a part of my piece. If I like my food cooked like this and my carrots separated from my peas, that's a part of my piece. When we have uncomfortable conversation, because relationships needs uncomfortable conversations to go to the next level of the relationship, right? But it's having the ability to be resolution based while having that uncomfortable conversation. Learning how to be pleasant within the conversation. Because how many times have you been in a relationship and the conversation went left and it started off with nothing? It started off with something so simple and so stupid, like, damn, how we end up having a bad argument over this? Learning not to lead with feelings. That's a part of the piece. Learning to keep hypotheticals and just deal in facts, not in feelings. That's a part of the piece from me that's required. So again, it varies from men to men. So if you want to know the cheat code, actually listen. But see, women, y'all don't really have a problem with listening. Y'all really don't. You will listen to the guy that you like. You will listen to the guy that you feel like is drop dead gorgeous. You will listen to the guy that every time he speaks, you just like the way he talk. Like I've heard, a few women, they just like the way I talk. It sound kind of rough and hood and bougie all at the same time. It's one big gumbo. And they just like the way I talk. They like the way when I tell them things about my past, they just like the way how it sounds. And I'm pretty sure that's like that for other men as well. So if you don't have an issue with getting that type of energy from that particular man or the man that you like, then execute on what he's talking about. It's really that simple. We're really that simple. It's really like that. So that's what peace looks like in y'all from a man, in the sense of what we're looking for. Again, it varies from man to man. Some men want a partner all through the way, meaning like, yo, I work, you work. I pay bills, you pay bills. Some men is looking for that, and some women is want to be on that particular page as well. That's a fact. Some men are very traditional. Yo, I work, you stay home. And I expect this when I come home because I'm providing that outside. So whatever program based on the guy that you like, do that and you will see the peace. Trust me. And to clarify that too, because somebody had mentioned before when I spoke about marriage, and I said that marriage don't benefit men, and a lot of women was like, well, there's some men that will say different. Yeah, of course, but that's not the rule. There's exceptions in everything. I know happy married couples now. What are you talking about, man? And this is speaking to the lady that said that. I know plenty of married couples. And I know that those couples who are happy to be with each other, it only works because they actually happy to be with each other. When they talk to each other, they listen to each other. They don't listen to respond. And because of that type of peace, it's a benefit because the type of love and energy that she's providing to that man and vice versa. See what I'm saying? So of course, there's exceptions in everything. But I also said there's not a married man that would disagree with me that it doesn't necessarily benefit us, especially from a financial side of the game, because men, we save more money when we're single, because it's less to dish out. We always gonna pay bills, but we willing to share. We want to share. We're just natural men. We're just natural providers. We're natural protectors. So we already know that we're gonna have to pay. So if we're gonna pay, we might as well have our woman, our lady. All men want their own lady. All men want their own woman. Marriage is not required. People say, why? Because like I covered before, you don't need to be married to get the same type of protection. Because that's why most people get married, is for the protection and the combined resources into less overall household resources. It's financial. Most people that speaking on it, speaking from a place of love. You think most people get married because they in love? No. Most successful people that are married understand the business of marriage. Most people that have a successful marriage, and I'm not just talking about just being together, they actually like being with each other. Now, do we know some couples that been together for years and they're miserable and they hate it? Of course. But most people that understands success of marriage understands the business. Now, marriage, if we know that marriage is between two people and God, you don't have to go to the courthouse and let the court man say, yeah, y'all married now. You could just go get a name change. Yeah, I just feel like changing my last name, Judge. I'm a Ralph. I feel like Ralph today. I don't want to be Weezer. I'm a Ralph. Name change. You could go get some policies. So that way, God forbid something was to happen to you, your family and your woman is taken care of, and vice versa. Policies are here for a reason. So you don't necessarily need marriage when people get married to do these things. Telling you what I know, man. Telling you what I know. Be mad all you want, but I'm telling you what I know. So that's what peace looks like when men see women. It varies from man to man, and you have to ask the question. But mainly, most men on the foundation, we value peace based on if we have the ability to have the uncomfortable conversation and being resolution based, no matter what it is. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. The Pac-12. The Pac-12 in football, in college football, is coming back. I thought it was kind of weird that the Pac-12 was dismantled from the very beginning, but they bringing it back. Of course, you already have Oregon State and Washington State was the last two teams remaining. I don't think any of the other big conferences wanted Oregon State and Washington State. You know, like they cool. The Big Ten took Washington, but they didn't take Washington State, right? So they like, that's good enough. Cool. Big Ten also took Oregon, not Oregon State. So I was actually surprised that the Big 12 or the ACC didn't extend to Oregon State and Washington State, because the ACC took on Stanford, Cali, and SMU. These are all West Coast teams. Majority of the ACC teams is in Eastern. These are Eastern teams. We're talking about Clemson, the North Carolina schools, North Carolina State, North Carolina, Duke, Wake Forest. I mean, we going all the way to Boston, Massachusetts. So these are really Eastern teams, and they was willing to take on 2 California schools and a Texas school. So I just thought that eventually they would join the Big 12. But no, Pac-12 is back. Obviously, it's going to start Oregon State, Washington State. They're adding Gonzaga. I didn't even know Gonzaga had a football team. So they're adding Gonzaga to their conference. They're also adding Boise State, well-deserved. Boise State been kicking that butt for years. Boise State, Utah State, Colorado State, San Diego State, and Fresno State. And also, and the last team is Texas State to add to that conference. So again, you have Oregon State, Washington State, Gonzaga, Boise State, Utah State, Colorado State, San Diego State, Fresno State, and Texas State in the Pac-12. So it kind of feels like a upper echelon version of the Mountain West, but I dig it. But yeah, so that's dope that they bring it back, and it will be great for college football. It'll give other teams the ability to raise their profile and show up and show out. So that's dope. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Defensive back and receiver, or receiver and defensive back, Travis Hunter of the Jacksonville Jaguars has officially signed his 4-year, $46 million contract, fully guaranteed, might I add. That is fire. I love that. So the boy getting $46 million guaranteed as a rookie contract. I kind of think they getting off a little easy, to be honest with you. I know $46 million is a lot of money, but Travis Hunter will be playing both receiver and cornerback. So that's 2 positions, bro. That's 2 checks. I ain't trying to hear. See, my inner youth is coming back out. You know what I'm saying? That's my contract talk. You know what I'm saying? 46 mil. Nah, I ain't trying to hear none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm playing 2 positions, B. Y'all need to combine my pay and put that on top of each other, then come back to the board. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. Shout out to Travis Hunter again. That's $46 million, a little over $46 million guaranteed. And the benefit and the bonus is he got $30 million of that $46 million. He got 30.5 million at signing. Got 30.5 at signing. That's crazy. Shout out to Patrick Torres in the building. What's going on, my brother? Appreciate you tapping in. Let me know what you think in the chat, man. Again, Travis Hunter signed a 4-year, fully guaranteed $46 million contract and got 30.5 at signing. I don't know about y'all, but if I get 30.5 for signing my name for something I would do for free, my inner childhood, my inner thoughts, I would keep it cool. Like, I'll come to the business meeting like, oh, all right, 30 mil, all right, that's cool, thank you, I appreciate it. But once I get outside, You know what I'm saying? Once I get outside, my joy, you feel me? If I wouldn't be able to stop smiling. I'll be smiling at everything that's not funny, and I'm just smiling. Yo, the sky's blue, bro. Word, that's crazy. That's crazy. The sky's blue, dog. 30 mil at signing? I wouldn't even be able to sleep the night before. Because mind you, he's been getting money, NIL. He's been taking some of the, no, he put money back into the NIL, but he did have an endorsement in college. He also got another deal with Adidas, if I'm not mistaken. So he was already a millionaire, but he wasn't 30 M's up. You know what I'm saying? 30 M's. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, if I'm getting 30 mil at one time for doing something I would do for free, and I love doing, the sheer joy in my heart would just be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's a situation, and me understanding money, this money will last me the rest of my life. And not just my life. This is foundational money. This is generational money that's going to be passed on to my kids, to my kids' kids, and their kids. Because I'm going to put in place on how to deal with the money. I'm going to have strict things in my policies. Remember the policy thing I was talking about before? In my policies that we will never get rid of because it's worth this amount. This is something that has to be a part of our lineage because it's worth so much. And if you want this particular portion of your money, you have to do this. Like how Ghost did, you know what I'm saying? How he did Tariq. I'll pull a Ghost. You feel me? But the money would last and nobody would be hurting. Everybody would be taken care of. And so that's what would bring that sheer joy, that peace of mind, because it's a tool. And I'm going to use the tool. So shout out to Travis Hunter. Again, 46 over 46 million, fully guaranteed, 30.5 at signing. Guaranteed means sick days also. You stupid. You stupid. 30.5 means, yo, it's 30.5 guaranteed means if he gets hurt tomorrow, God forbid, because I don't want to. I want to see him live out his greatness. But if he was to get hurt tomorrow, he has to. They still have to pay him the full $46 million. The $30 million is what he carried out. On the day. But the whole 46, they have to give him 46 mil. So if they say, you know what, we're gonna cut him, cool. They could cut him. They still have to pay him the rest of the $46 million. So they would still owe him $16 million after this. That's what guaranteed means. Sick days or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They got to pay him that money. Bobby Bonita, I don't know if y'all familiar with Bobby Bonita. He was an old Mets player, and his contract was so lucrative and crazy. I think the last year he played was in 2000 or 2001. But the Mets have been paying Bobby Bonita $2-point-something million since the year 2002, if I'm not mistaken, every year. Because when he left the game, I believe he got hurt. Something happened. It was fully guaranteed. So even though he's no longer on the team, they had to write that check every year. Every single year. I think last year was the last year. So for 25 years, 2.5. You know what I'm saying? So I love stuff like that. You feel me? So shout out again to Travis Hunter getting that money on. You deserve it, and continue to do your work, man. A really, really, really outstanding player. I seen people trying to bash him earlier about getting that money, and the stuff that they trying to say, but I won't mention it. But shout out to Travis Hunter doing his thing, continue to progress. And if this is the first contract, this is the first contract. He really gonna hit him over the head on the second contract if he do what we feel like he's gonna do. So again, I can't imagine what that second contract gonna look like, because that's what every football player plays for, is that second contract. So that first contract, even though it's good money, that second contract is you know what I'm saying? So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, my Keep the Lie Live segment. For this episode, we've been talking about it, right? Learn how to manage your money. Learn how to manage your money. Learning how to manage your money is an art and a skill that everybody needs to learn. I get some people is just really bad with money because they don't understand what it takes to maintain things. Like, some people really know how to make it, but they don't know how to really like pay bills for real. And what I mean by pay bills for real is like learning how to really like budget. They just know how to make it. You see what I'm saying? But it's still a tool that you need to learn or have some sort of foundation, because if you always leave it to other people to pay your bills, if you always leave it to other people to situate you, at some point other people will take advantage and take your money, and you like, yo, it's been 2 months, 3 months, and my bills ain't paid. Like, yo, I thought I sent you to pay my bills, and because you're leaning on people that after a while people are going to be humans and just take advantage of it. So learning how to manage your own money is a skill that is needed to learn by all individuals, because you could pay too much on something, pay for too much on something. And that's not something you want to do, because it all adds up. We see it all the time where these, supposedly rich people that have all this money but broke in 2 years or broke in 3 years. Or they stunting on everybody today, buying this and buying that. Oh yeah, I'll buy that $10 candy bar and then be broke before they know it, because they not understanding the value of money, not understanding that money is a tool, not understanding that money is a tool that you should manage. So again, y'all, the art and ability to learn how to manage money, especially your money, is an art and a skill that we all need to learn, because you're going to really cheat yourself out here. Shout out to the comments. I need 15K, Travis. Oh, they talking about Travis Hunter. I need 15K. Honestly, they should teach how to handle simple investing your senior year in high school. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that. The only issue I have with that is that they should teach it even younger. And the reason why I say they should teach it even younger is mainly because we're more prone to learn things when we're like really young. So by the time we're in high school, it's just second nature, and we learning how to take the game to the next level. Most of us that really learn things or learned it as kids or as young teenagers, and it's just a part of our upbringing, right? We learn how to play an instrument, we learn how to play a sport. So by the time we're like leaving high school and in high school, it's a part of our second nature. It's a part of our muscle memory, right? So I honestly believe that they should be teaching these things even younger, so that way our brain memory, where we learning how to do things, learning how to pay bills, learning where we pay bills. I remember as a kid, I always would think like, damn, my mother always talking about rent. Where do she go to pay the rent? When I walk in the building, there's nowhere to pay the rent. Like, it's just people that live in the building, not knowing that in that particular building that the landlord or the manager comes by, once a month on the first, Probably a time where I'm at school and he knocking on the doors and he's collecting his rent money, or they mailing it to somewhere, or they sliding under an office door. You get what I'm saying? Like not knowing where we had to pay bills. So I believe it's an added skill in learning how to manage your money. But they're not going to teach that in schools, because the whole purpose is to teach people how to really become very smart workers and being reliant. And the reason why I say smart workers, they don't want people to be smart and elevate the process of things. No, do what you told. You're smart enough to do it, and we're going to teach you how to do it at the same time. So I love that point that you made, Patrick. I agree. I would just add that they should teach it at a younger age, because it is, again, it is a tool and it's much needed. You would think if they would teach it, it would build for a healthier economy, right? But they love to, like our world thrives on chaos. And as if you know, that's like going to the store and buying a product, right? And that same store, that same product, if you get to the checkout line and you mention, just by you mentioning, like, hey, y'all still got that deal, if y'all still got price check, right? So instead of paying $12, I could literally pay $3. Oh yeah. Mind you, they not going to tell you they have price check. They only going to do it when the customer mention it, right? How many customers actually mention it? So again, our economy and our ways of life, especially when finances, it thrives in chaos. It's just like, you could benefit. If you don't know, it's like that old saying, some lambs are made for slaughter. And all of us, in some form or fashion, are lambs because we don't know everything. So again, y'all, my Keep the Lie Alive is learn how to manage your money. I also came up with this because I was watching a clip with Nelly and Ashanti, rapper Nelly and singer Ashanti, and they was looking for a new bed. And Ashanti, soften Nelly up and get in the bed, babe. It's a nice bed, babe. And they got the people giving them first class treatment, tucking them in the bed and all that to make them feel all special and all that. Nelly sitting in the bed like, yo, this is a nice bed. I ain't gonna hold you. Ashanti smiling, enjoying herself. And the guy, he's like, yo, how much is the bed? The dude said, what's the word that he used? He didn't even say the bed. He said this instrument is $76,000. Nelly was like, what? You a lie? This not it. This ain't my bed. He told Ashanti, you better get up out these people's bed. She couldn't stop laughing. $76,000 for a bed. And mind you, Nelly is a millionaire. He has ownership in all types of businesses and companies. And even him is not making that type of purchase because he understands the value of money. Understand that it's a tool. Understand management of money. So people that's out there buying $76,000 beds without no frames or nothing, just the bed itself, y'all on a whole nother level financially. And if you go broke, don't expect me or anybody I know to feel sorry for you. Because again, money is a tool. You don't need a $76,000 bed, bro. A good old $800 bed is like a really good bed, Posturepedic type of thing, deep sleep or coma type of beds. You know what I mean? So again, that $76,000 bed is not going to bring them happiness. Like how I spoke about money bring people happiness. It's not going to bring them happiness. It's a tool. So learn how to manage your money. It's a tool. It's a necessary skill that we need to learn. That's my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode. Y'all, I want to thank y'all for tapping in. Y'all been amazing each and every episode. We're on every Thursday every Sunday. Again, every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30. Thank y'all for tapping in. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11,000 subscribers. So continue to help us build the show. Help us continue to show the show so much love. We're built off of love. I want to thank some of the sponsors of the show. Bravo Section, Button Snaps, OUV Records. Again, if you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. Again, at Ashley Lovechild, you can hit me on Instagram if you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show. But you better be serious about it. I don't do no play about that. Okay? Again, I want to thank everybody for continuing to support my new EP, Winners Loyalty. It's on every music platform. So again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in and tapping into that EP. Again, type in Ashley Lovechild or Winners Loyalty, and it'll pop right up on any and every music platform. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. Button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Also, don't forget to go to fourthwall.com. Fourthwall.com. There's links in the bio where we got new merchandise, dope fire merchandise, OUV Records, Ken and Brothers Get a Rap podcast merch. You can also get 10% on all items just by typing in Brothers Pod. Brothers Pod. Get 10% on all items. So again, make sure y'all tap in. Y'all know me, I always feel like I'm forgetting something. Again, y'all, we're on every Sunday, every Thursday at 10:30. We're also added episodes on Fridays and Mondays. We're shooting for on Instagram as well, to include my co-host Santana. We've just been having issue with the connection on YouTube for whatever reason. YouTube did a change in how they allow us do this stuff, and we have over 150 episodes where we had no issues. Now all of a sudden we got connection issues. So well, he'll be back soon, and in the meantime, between time, is always love, and continuously to like, subscribe, tell a friend, share. There's a whole bunch of rewatches on the channel. Over 450 rewatch videos right now of this pod on this channel. So make sure y'all go tap in and enjoy, man. Y'all already know it's love, and I see y'all this Thursday at 10:30. We out.